There we go. Okay, can you start with telling me about something that happened to you this week that brought you joy?
Um, Actually, two things now come to
Okay.
mind. So I'll tell you the first one is my husband and I do a weekly breakfast or lunch, and we bring our calendars. I bring my iPad, and we go through what we each have that week. We share the calendar. So, but we also will plan future trips or
Okay.
and one of the things we planned that we ended up doing this week was we took the dogs and we walked through Green Springs Garden.
Okay, nice.
So that was the weather's getting nice, so that was fun.
To what degree do your and your husband's schedules of activities overlap? Like, do you have many shared interests?
Yes, the only thing that really doesn't overlap was our doctor visits.
Okay.
So and he's not a typically social guy, so he doesn't do the Wise Connect stuff, which is nice. I like to have my own little segment of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about where you grew up, and if it wasn't here, then what brought you to this area?
I grew up in Rochester, New York.
Okay.
And I lived there and went to college at St. Bonaventures, which is still in New York.
Okay.
And met my husband there, and he was military. So we got married in '83, and then moved all around.
Got it.
This was our third time here, and we decided to stay here instead of going back to New York because my daughter had some health issues, and so we wanted to be by the military medical facilities.
So, did your career in accounting end up having some sense of adventure that you wanted? Did you stick with that as your...
No. I had a job when we first got married, and then I was a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
And then I went back to school, and my daughter had some health issues, which got me interested in, I ended up getting an associate's degree in occupational therapy.
Okay.
I tried to get as a military, I tried to get a graduate degree, or back then you just needed bachelor's. But anyway, I would get to near, I was ready to get into the program, and then we moved. And then and then this other state, and then we moved. So I ended up just getting the associate's degree.
Yeah,
So.
I guess that's hard. And
Yes, very hard. Yeah.
And did you end up using that occupational therapy degree?
Yes, I ended up here, and I was an occupational therapy assistant in Fairfax County Public Schools.
Okay.
My whole career. So it was great because I worked with as young as 2 years old and as young as 22.
Okay.
So yeah, all different kinds of kids, or adults. Yeah. I'm getting out there. I'm doing the Wise 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
And I'm starting to look for other things where I can volunteer. But my mom just passed away, and my dad's up in New York. My 2 sisters are there helping him a lot. So I think I'm going to try and go up to New York a little bit more to help out. But it really opened up my eyes to he can't drive. And so trying to find places that will drive seniors, because he's turning 95 in April. He can't. So that's one of the things I'm looking at around here, and some people gave me a couple names of places where they want volunteers to drive.
Well, I will tell you that I started Wise Connect a few years ago, and I started it because of my grandfather. And one of the biggest issues for, the reasons why he was isolated was that he didn't drive anymore, and he didn't want to be a burden on the family and have to ask every time to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And so for me, that piece of how are you going to get there is such a big deal.
Yes.
So I appreciate that you're trying to volunteer with that, as now that you've been thinking about it more.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your experience with the Wise events. It sounds like you've been going to a bunch of them. What have been some of your favorites?
It's funny because I found you, I think, on Meetup.
Okay.
Because I was looking for a book club and or somebody to go to the movies with, and I don't remember which one, your name popped up. But when I saw all the activities, I first started going to the coffees on the Compass Coffee on Fridays. And then, there's board games. So I started doing the board games. And then I saw the movies, so I've gone to some movies. And then, lunch. And, Shabine, okay, we'll do that. And my husband's like, what days are we doing stuff? So right now I can still kind of, because not everything's every week, but
Yes.
yeah, I really, the more I started looking into stuff, it's like, is there anything I don't like?
I'm so glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions that you would be curious to ask other members of our community that you may have not met yet about what they're up to, or
Okay, and this I really enjoy Wise, and I want it to continue. And my biggest worry and my question to everybody is, will this continue even if like something happens with you guys and you can't be in charge of it anymore? I'd like to make sure that this keeps going no matter what happens in the future. I don't want to see it lost because I think it provides so much to everybody. And I know I look forward to it. And I plan my doctor's schedule around these activities.
Well, that's so nice to hear.
Yeah.
We will, first of all, we plan to stick with it for as long as we can.
Yeah.
And second, we will certainly make sure that there is a plan if for whatever reason
Yeah.
we can't do that.
Oh.
So I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah.
It's a meaningful group to
Once
be
you
part
find
of.
something that you
Yeah.
really like, and I really like this, like, don't take it away. Yeah.